Kyle Ferroly here. Another day of putting myself in the hot seat. Thought I'd share a recent thing that happened to me at my kid's school. And I want to call it bragging rights. And really, we shouldn't be doing this. And I realized how foolish I was after, especially because I teach all this stuff. So there I was, walking into school, talking to other parents about the night before. You know, when your kids, if you have kids or if you were a kid at one point and you're watching this and you did this to your parents, we probably all did. I know I did. You bring the project out at 8 o'clock, half hour before bedtime, and say, guess what? We have to make this and this and this. Well, luckily, all we had to do is make a hat out of recycled materials. And my wife was on one of her business trips, so I decided to feed the kids as best I could, which meant fruit and a frozen pizza. Sorry, not a cook, not a chef. And we cut this thing apart, hung soda cans from it. It was beautiful. But we stayed up a long time working on it. So there we are, exhausted the next day. And some parents and I at drop off. My kids go to a private school. We have to drive our kids in and walk them in and all that stuff. So we get to know the parents really well. And a bunch of us were kind of commiserating on how much sleep we got the night before due to our kids pulling this out the last minute. Oh yeah, you think that's bad? I stayed up till this time doing this. Oh, you think that's this? Bragging rights. We shouldn't be bragging about how much stress we have. Because what that really means is, oh yeah, you think that's bad? Well, I stayed up so late, so you know what that did to me? It turned off the front of my brain where I make good decisions, and I control my impulse. And I am sure that I'm not being as empathetic as I should to other people. All these things, logic, reasoning, planning, forethought, judgment, they all happen up here in the front of our brain. And when we become stressed, we shut that off. Whether it's being chased by a bear, or being cut off in traffic, or the internet going out in the middle of your Netflix binge, not that any of us do that, right? Or maybe you posted a picture of your dinner on Facebook that you made. I'm jealous because I can't do that. I don't cook well. And nobody liked it. These are all dumb things, but they all stress us out if we perceive it as a threat. So anytime that we perceive something as a threat, whether it's in our external world or our internal world, our brain and mind, they throw a little fit inside and they say, this isn't good. Let's prepare for battle. Let's align the forces, get the body going, start breathing really shallow. Don't take in as much air, tense your muscles, increase your heartbeat, cortisol going all over the place. This isn't good stuff that we need to have. But what else would you have if you're a parent ready to relax, whether it's with TV or a glass of wine or go to bed or whatever the heck it might be, right? That we do at night after we get these little troopers to bed. And that wasn't quite happening for a lot of us that night. It's minor stress. So is trying to carry this project in without dropping it. The bottom line is we all sit around and talk about how stressed we are and how frustrated we are and what messed us up with something or somebody did something to us. When you relive it and you go through it again, it's actually the same problem again. And now we're stressed out again even though we're not in the situation. That's why people with post-traumatic stress disorder, like you've been in a war or you've had abuse happen in your life, just rethinking it brings about the same change. And that's what I do in my daily life when I'm not building hats out of recyclable materials for my 7-year-old, is I look at the mind, body, and brain using tools in the field of psychophysiology. Shameless plug for the business, of course. And we help people understand how to think, act, and feel. So if you're having trouble with something, we might be able to see where in your mind, brain, or body the root cause is that's having these symptoms arise that you're chasing. So irritability, trouble sleeping, can't focus, things like that. They can be traced back to problems in your brain. Your brain might be running too fast or not fast enough. It might not be connecting right, or it might be connecting too much. These are all things we can see in the EEG. You might be breathing 2-3 times faster than you should be. And that's actually what we've seen in a lot of cases, is that people are breathing way too fast and not getting enough oxygen in their brain, and they're telling their body that there's a problem when there really isn't. And it's just breathing. You'll see another video of a client that I worked with in Illinois at one of our other offices, and she was very, very wealthy. And I've never even seen that type of Mercedes pull up before. Rocks just huge in her ears. And I mean, I thought she needed a walker just to hold herself up because she was just loaded with diamonds. Really nice lady. Didn't have a care in the world. And within a month, she was off her anti-anxiety meds because she was breathing wrong. She was causing panic and anxiety by breathing wrong. Can you believe that? Do you see why I love my job? to help people see sometimes it's very serious. I have one client who was abused as a child. I can't teach her how to be perfect just with breathing, but some cases are simple. And if you're not looking, you don't know. So I hope this has been just another quick little story about maybe you don't want to brag about your stress because it's kind of actually hurting you, and do something about it. Times are changing. When I was a kid, you were told to snap out of it, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, don't worry about it, and I think that's different now. I don't think that that's the way we have to live life. I think we can, to not snap out of it, we need to know why we can't snap out of it. And I know for me, that's what put me in this field. It's a quest to understand why I couldn't follow the best advice I ever got. Get over it. Snap out of it. Pick yourself up. Don't worry about it. Don't be so emotional. I always have been. Ask anybody that knows me from 20, 30 years ago. When you run into them at parties or you run into them at dinner or whatever, and they're like, oh, wow, yeah, look what you're doing. Yeah, it fits. Yeah, it's great because there are a lot of people that are struggling, and it's an honor to help. I'm Kyle Ferroly. I hope this has been a off-the-wall, fun video for you to watch. And again, nothing to buy, nothing to sell, nothing to do, except think about, do you really want to have that much stress? And if you want to get rid of some of your stress, let us know at the Center for Mind-Brain Balance. We'd love to help you. Thanks.